Hello Jeff, how are you doing? This is Cristian down here in Santiago, Chile. I'm doing an entry for your contest. Finally, I'm here at my music room, my bedroom, doing a contest entry because I was a couple of weeks trying to escape this pandemic, this lockdown that finally has hit us down here again. So without further ado, I'm going to show five records, albums, or bands that define what I like, what I listen in music. It's not very eclectic. It's just heavy metal. It's just rock. It's just good music to me. And these are the things that I like to listen mostly, and that have defined what I like um, till now. First of first of all, I'm going to go with I think the band that represents everything that I like about music, heavy music, or just good music. That's what I like to define it. It's of course Iron Maiden. This is somewhere in time one of the best artworks in music, I think, in my opinion. This is an awesome gift from the one and only Aaron Mutha Alamar. I have told this story many times, so I'm going to tell it again. Please bear with me. Back in 82, 83, I was in middle school, and one day my younger brother, came back home from school with a small cassette tape. I recorded one with one album that it completely changed my mind. I have no idea what it was. The only thing that I recognized, it was an old Sony 60 minutes CHF, I think. And it says a name that I have seen before, and the title of an album that I have never heard. And on the front of the cassette, it was a paper clip of a lead singer of that band, and really that hit the. I press play, and the first song that came went blasting through the speakers was "Invaders" by Iron Maiden. That was it. That was all I need to listen. That was everything I was looking after in music. That type of rhythm, that type of singing, that type of everything was exactly what I needed and what defined everything that I love of Iron Maiden till this day. This is my favorite band. I have seen them here in Santiago, Chile, at least I think 7 times, and every time they are doing a show here, they sold out. They are selling out every venue that they play, up to 50 or 60,000 people in a sports in a football stadium down here. So that's my first pick. That's Iron Maiden, of course. Next, it's a band that it's, I think, not very popular, or at least well known in the VC, because they are a heavy metal band from Spain. Yep, this is the most famous band that came from Spain back in the day. In 1980, they were formed. The name of the band is Barón Rojo, or the Red Baron. This is their most famous album, most popular album. It's Volumen Brutal, or Brutal Volume, if you like to say it in English. This is an English version they did. This is everything you want to in a traditional heavy metal band. They are still very popular here in Latin America, of course, being the most important band of the Spanish language in this type of music. Unfortunately, they have announced that they are going to retire after what was supposed to be the firework tour last year, but of course it was cancelled. And we hope that they will still do one more round down here. I hope we can see them finally for the last, at least for the last time. But this is another great band, Barón Rojo from Spain. Next, And as you can see, I like heavy metal music, but I also like the more kind of softer side of rock. That is the music that emerged back in the day in the mid 80s in Los Angeles. This is Rat and their debut album, Out of the Cellar, an amazing, amazing album. This is my OG copy from back in the day. They have everything that I want in a band. They have catchy tunes, great lyrics, great melodies, great live performance, great guitar players, great shredders in Robin Crosby and in Warren DeMartini. Sometimes you can say they don't have an amazing singer in Stephen Pearcy, but he knows how to deliver a show. He's a great frontman. He may not have the type of voice that Bruce Dickinson um, still has, still have, but I think Stephen Percy is everything that Rat needed, so they can be as big as they were back in the late 80s. Unfortunately, they have always been a very tumultuous band. They have had a lot of issues, a lot of musicians. They have been a kind of a revolving door in the couple of last years. Unfortunately, right now there are only two original members in the band. Warren DeMartini has not been in the band for many years. Bobby Blotzer, they had a kind of legal dispute with the other members, and of course Robin Crosby died many years ago of I think some AIDS-related disease. But still, they put out some great music, and that's one of my favorite bands from back in the day. And the other one is these guys, of course, Metallica. They were huge, 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 and they still are really big. They have been here in Santiago, Chile, I think of 4 or 5 times. I have seen them every time they have been here, except the last time when they were headlining Lollapalooza. No, not that for me. Metallica opened a door for more kind of extreme music. This is early thrash back in the day. Of course, Anthrax, Megadeth, Slayer, and all the other guys that came along with them. So this represents kind of my harder side of music. And finally, a band from the early 90s that took me by surprise when they appeared, because we weren't expecting this kind of music back in the day. We were having the last part of the glam 80s music bands. Thrash was kind of getting tired of repeating themselves, and many bands started appearing in the late 80s, early 90s, putting out some new type of music, mixing old sounds from the 70s with new ways of playing music. And one of them, then, it was not the first band from this type of music, for more alternative or new music that came out. But I think it's one of the best from that era, and I think one of the ones that I like the most. And it's of course Soundgarden. Sorry about the glare. This is Love and Love, of course. Great album, great performance of the late from the late Chris Cornell. There's the band Kim Thayil, Matt Cameron, and I can't remember the name of the bass player, who was later replaced by Ben Shepherd in the next album. But this is a great album. A heavy side of the grunge scene, with lots and lots of influence by Black Sabbath, and as I was telling, a really heavy sound. It was exactly what was needed, because if you don't like or you get tired of Nirvana and all that kind of more garage type of music, I think Soundgarden and Alice in Chains were exactly what we were needing for for all of us that we were listening to this kind of music in the late 80s. So those are my 5 picks. I could easily put out some at least 4 or 5 more. Of course, lately I rediscovered the big bands from the 70s, like Queen, like The Who, like Aerosmith. Of course, always have a great like for Van Halen, for AC/DC, Accept, Motorhead, and many more. But these are 5 that I think are very significant for me in the way that I like to listen to music right now. So that's it, Jeff. I won't be rambling anymore. 10 minutes, I think it's more than enough. Thanks for having this contest. This is Christian saying goodbye here in Santiago, Chile. See ya.